How has Pinochet's rule shaped the Chile we know today? This question takes us back to the era of Augusto Pinochet, a Chilean general who ruled Chile for 17 years, from 1973 to 1990. His rule, marked by a strong grip on power, has left a lasting impact on the nation. One of the most enduring legacies of Pinochet's rule is the Constitution. Crafted under his dictatorship, this document has guided Chile's political and social structure for decades. Today, however, Chile is debating a new constitution to replace the one from Pinochet's era. This proposed constitution seeks to address many of the issues that have been contentious in Chilean society, including the protection of indigenous territories, addressing water rights, and the nationalization of mining. Yet, the process is not without controversy. The proposed changes have stirred concerns among investors and mining firms, reflecting the deep divisions that remain in Chile's society over Pinochet's legacy. In fact, recent surveys show a decline in support for the new constitution, indicating that the debate over Pinochet's legacy is far from settled. Pinochet's rule, though decades past, continues to leave an indelible mark on Chile. This is a testament to the far-reaching impact of his rule and the challenges that Chile faces as it grapples with its past while trying to move forward. How did Augusto Pinochet rise to power? It's a question that echoes through the annals of Chilean history, a narrative of military ambition and political upheaval. Born in November 1915, Pinochet's path to power was paved with strategic career moves and a knack for seizing opportunities. His military career began to take shape when he ascended to the position of General Chief of Staff of the Chilean Army in early 1972. A year later, on the 23rd of August 1973, Pinochet's career trajectory took a critical turn. President Salvador Allende, a man whose leadership would shortly be eclipsed by Pinochet's rising star, appointed him as the army's commander-in-chief. Just weeks after his appointment, Pinochet's name entered the global consciousness as he orchestrated a coup d'état on September 11, 1973. This event marked the end of Allende's democratically elected left-wing Unidad popular government and civilian rule in Chile. It was a move that had the backing of the United States, a powerful ally that would prove instrumental in shaping Pinochet's rule. By December 1974, Pinochet had been appointed supreme head of the nation by the ruling military junta. This move, however, was not without controversy. One of the coup's instigators, Air Force General Gustavo Lee, did not support Pinochet's appointment, yet the wheels of power were already in motion, and there was no turning back. The rise of Pinochet was a calculated ascension, marked by strategic alliances and an unflinching will to power. His rule, born out of a military coup and cemented by political maneuvering, would usher in a new era for Chile, an era marked by an iron-fisted rule, economic upheaval, and human rights abuses. Thus began the rule of Pinochet, a period that would drastically reshape Chile. What characterized Pinochet's rule? This question takes us deep into the heart of a regime marked by a relentless pursuit of power, and a chilling disregard for human rights. During his reign, Pinochet's iron fist was felt most acutely by leftists, socialists, and political critics who dared to oppose his rule. It's estimated that between 1,200 and 3,200 individuals were executed, while as many as 80,000 people were interned. And let's not forget the tens of thousands who were subjected to unthinkable torture. Pinochet's reign was not merely about wielding power within the confines of Chile. His influence reached far beyond his nation's borders, as evidenced by Operation Condor. This US-supported terror operation was launched at the behest of Pinochet's regime in late November 1975, coinciding with his 60th birthday. Operation Condor was a cold and calculated effort to eliminate political opposition across South America. It was a clear message to anyone who dared to stand against Pinochet's rule. Dissent would not be tolerated. But it wasn't just political opposition that felt the wrath of Pinochet's rule. The general public lived in a state of constant fear. Censorship was rife, and the regime used it as a tool to reward supporters and punish opponents. Those who dared to voice their opposition were swiftly dealt with, while those who pledged their loyalty were rewarded. So what characterized Pinochet's rule? It was a time of brutal repression where political dissent was met with violence and fear was a constant companion. The reign of Pinochet was marked by a ruthless pursuit of power, a flagrant disregard for human rights, and an unyielding grip on the people of Chile. Under Pinochet, Chile was a nation in fear. What economic policies did Pinochet implement during his rule? Under the guiding hand of a group known as the Chicago Boys, Pinochet's regime turned Chile's economy on its head. These advisors, educated under Milton Friedman at the University of Chicago, brought with them a staunch belief in free market fundamentalism, which they were eager to implement in Chile. Pinochet's economic transformation started with currency stabilization. In an effort to control inflation and stabilize the Chilean economy, a fixed exchange rate was established, tying the Chilean peso to the US dollar. This move aimed to provide a steady economic environment for businesses and investors. Next came the removal of tariff protections. This move was designed to foster competition and modernize local industries. However, it also exposed them to international competitors, leading to the demise of some local businesses. Trade unions were banned under Pinochet's rule. This was a controversial move aimed at reducing the power of workers to negotiate wages and working conditions. It was a significant blow to the labor movement in Chile, one that is still felt today. The most radical change implemented by Pinochet's regime was the privatization of state-owned enterprises and Social Security. Hundreds of public companies were sold, often at below-market prices, and frequently to individuals with close political ties to the regime. Social Security, once a public service, was transformed into a private, for-profit system. This led to a significant increase in economic inequality. These policies, while boosting economic growth in the short term, also resulted in a sharp increase in economic inequality. The rich got richer, and the poor got poorer. Moreover, these policies are largely blamed for the 1982 monetary crisis that devastated the Chilean economy. Pinochet's economic policies brought both growth and crisis. How did Pinochet's rule end, and what legacy did he leave behind? Augusto Pinochet's rule came to an end following a pivotal 1988 plebiscite. The Chilean people, weary from years of dictatorship, voted with a majority of 56% to end his reign. Yet, even in his downfall, controversy followed Pinochet. It was revealed that his wealth had grown significantly during his years in power, with multiple secret bank accounts held abroad and considerable holdings in real estate. Prosecutions for embezzlement, tax fraud, and kickbacks on arms deals trailed him post-presidency. As for his legacy, it's a subject of ongoing debate. Pinochet's rule, marked by economic liberalization and human rights violations, left an indelible mark on Chile. Even today, the country grapples with the remnants of his rule. Efforts are being made to address the impact of his dictatorship through a new constitution. This constitution aims to replace the market-focused one from Pinochet's era, proposing significant political and social changes. Pinochet's rule may have ended, but its effects continue to reverberate in Chilean society.